and the sun is still up. This is very exciting. I'm so happy. All right, head and neck. Let's look up and down. Relax those shoulders. Just take your time here. Let's do 2 more. All right, bring it back to center. Keep those shoulders relaxed. Drop the head to one side. Okay, 1 more on each side. Hold it. Relax the shoulders and then do half circles to the front. We'll do 5 in each direction. One more. All right. I'm just going to fix my ponytail here, but we're going to do big arm circles. So you can get those started if you know it. Arms straight. Good. Let's change direction. Good. Last one. All right, let's open front and back. Just let those arms fly. Good. Opening to the side.
Oh, finally connected.
Oh, someone's, if you could mute your mic, that would be great. Couple more on each side. Last one. Good. All right, shake it out. Elbows. Getting that full extension. Let's go the other way. All right, wrists. Big circles, as big as you can make them. That's it. Other way. Good. All right. Shake that out. Let's get into those spinal roll downs. Starting with the head, tucking the chin, rolling down 1 vertebrae at a time. Keep those knees soft. Nice deep breath at the bottom. See if you can feel your rib cage expand 360 degrees. So on the sides, into the back, and then roll it up 1 vertebrae at a time. The head is the last thing to come up. And let's do it again. This time at the bottom, we walk the hands to one side. So the knees are still bent here, but I want you to see if you can push the hands into the floor and straighten the arms. Keep those hands connected to the floor. And then walk them to the other side. Push into the floor. If you want to try to straighten your legs, you can. Back to center, roll it up. Good. All right, feet out wider than the hips for our side bend. Reach up, create lots of space. Bend to the side. Reach away with that arm. Turn the armpit up towards the ceiling. Okay, that arm comes up. And you, other side. Reach and bend. let's fold over that leg. So the legs are as straight as you can get them. But I want you here to relax your neck, your shoulders, and your elbows. Then we open it up to the side. So if you're on your left leg, the right hand is on the floor and the left arm opens up towards the ceiling. So you get a nice little twisting stretch here. But at the same time, see if you can think about making your spine as long as possible. So like you're reaching your tailbone and your head away from each other. Create a bit of length there. So you're reaching up and you're reaching forward and back. Bring it down and we'll go to the other side. So we're going to first just fold over the leg, relax neck, shoulders and elbows. Legs are as straight as you can get them. And then opening it up on the other side. So if you're on your right leg now, right arm opens up. Remember, reaching up and reaching the tailbone back, head forward. Back to center. And roll it up. Good. We're going to do some pelvic tilts tonight. So we're going to do little hip circles. We're going to work into little hip circles and then we'll do our big hip circles. But we'll start with those pelvic tilts. We're just going to tuck that pelvis under and then stick it out. So we're trying to move just at the pelvis here, at the hips, trying to keep that rib cage stabilized. So let's see if we can do 10 of those. Good. All right. We're going to do now, we went forward and back. We're going to now lift the hip one at a time. So my knees are soft. My feet are going to stay firmly connected to the floor so I'm not coming up onto my toes. We're going to see if we can keep the heels down. Knees are bent and I'm straightening one side and then the other. So I'm not fully straightening it. You know, I just straighten it enough until the hip comes up and I feel that stretch. Then I go to the other side. Good. Trying to get those hips to move in all the directions. Okay, let's see if we can put it together. We're going to lift one side, then we're going to tilt the pelvis. So let's tilt it back. Then we're going to lift the other side. Then we're going to tuck the pelvis. So we lift, tilt, lift, tuck. So you can break it down like that. And then if you want to try to smooth it out into a little hip circle, you can try that. When you've had enough, you can try going the other way. You can move right into the circle, or if you need to break it down, you can break it down. So if this is new to you, it will likely feel like a little bit of a Tin Man, like maybe you need some WD-40 or something in there. It's not moving smoothly. That's not uncommon. You know, we just keep doing it. That's the only way to sort of work it out. We just keep practicing, so we will. All right, relax. We're going to do big hip circles now. So feet wider than the hips. Good. Let's go the other way. Excellent. Knees. So find your balance. If you want to hang on to something, hang on to something. Moving just at the knee. We're going to imagine we're drawing circles on the floor with our toes. I like to point my toes here, but it's okay if you don't. About 10 in each direction. So although we're warming up the knee joint here, you'll notice that your hip will move. That's okay, and that's normal, so you don't have to try to stop that action. We're just initiating the circle from the knee. Yeah, good. And then let's just finish this little round with some ankle circles, big circles. Other way. And other foot. Change direction. Really get in there. Make these last circles as big as you can. Feel the stretch all the way around. I mean, don't hurt yourself, but get in there. Okay. Let's move on. Let's do tonight, let's go through one round of, we're gonna do we're not gonna do bear walks. We're gonna do shifting bear. So tonight, we're gonna come into this tabletop position. So let's set it up before we even lift the knees off the floor, hands under the shoulders, knees under the hips. The toes are tucked, so you're pushing into those toes. Arms are nice and straight. You're pulling the shoulders down away from the ears. I want you to bring attention to your hands, and you should feel that weight under the first knuckles of your hands, so under these guys. And you want to see if you can just keep your weight there. If you notice your weight start to shift back towards the heel of your hands, just take a second to readjust and see if you can bring that weight under the first knuckle. What that's going to do is it's going to help keep your shoulder in line with your wrist. We don't want the shoulder to come back here. All right, so lots to think about. Once you're in this position, we're going to lift the knees. So level 1, you're just going to hold this position. If you can, you keep this spine nice and straight as you shift those hips back and then come back to your starting position. So now we're intentionally shifting that weight back and then coming back to the start. So try a few of those. Keeping that back nice and straight. Think about those pelvic tilts we did in the warm-up in that general mobilization where we tilt the pelvis forward and back. Think about tilting that pelvis back. One more if you're shifting. If you're holding, that's a long hold. All right. We're going to stay on the floor. Double up your mat if you need extra padding for your knee, because we're going to come into a half kneeling position. Keep those back toes tucked. We're still going to push into those toes. You're going to squeeze your glute, and you're going to just experience the stretch before we do anything. When that feels okay, so you can lean forward as much as you need to get that stretch through the hip. So depending on your flexibility, you might be here. So at the very least, you should be straight over your hip. Okay, but if you need more of a stretch, you can start to lean forward, but keep your back nice and straight. After that, so if your right knee is down, your right arm presses over to your left shoulder, and you're going to see if you can reach around in a big circle, touch your foot. See if you can do 5 of those. Big circle, big reach. You should feel a stretch across the front of your body. So from this hip, diagonally across the other side, up to your shoulder. After you've done 5, we go to the other side. Take your time to set it up. Squeeze the glute, get that stretch. And reach. Good, nice. One more. Good. All right, let's bring it to standing. We're just going to get into that side body a little more. We're going to start both arms up. The feet can be pretty close together. I mean, they don't have to be touching, but they can be, I mean, inside hip distance. We're gonna reach up, and like we were doing with those hip lifts. So here I'm lifting my right hip. My left hip is dropping, but I'm reaching up with my left arm. So I'm lifting my right hip, reaching up with my left arm. And then I'm gonna go to the other side and reach up. So just getting a nice stretch. So if my right hip is down, my right arm is reaching up, far away from each other. So just do a few of those. As I'm reaching up with this hand, I'm also actively pushing down with the other hand. Good. Yeah. Yeah. All right. Both arms up. You're going to grab your right wrist, or sorry, whatever. Grab whatever wrist. And we're going to bend to one side, fold to the front, come around to the other side, and back up. So you're going to do 5 in each direction. When you change directions though, you're going to change your grip. So you'll grab your other wrist. Change direction when you're ready. You can keep those knees straight, or if you have to bend them, you can bend them. One more. Good. Feel okay? Sweet. All right. Let's bring it to the floor. We have 2 rounds. We're going to do some glute lifts, some scapular push-ups, and a little squat drill. We're going to start with the glute lifts. We're going to do them from this position if you can. I think we're all capable. Knees are bent, hands are behind us. So ideally the hands are probably out. I mean, my middle finger probably points out like 45 degrees. But you can play with the position of your hands here. There's no right or wrong, just as long as it's comfortable for you. We're going to set the back before we do anything. So we open the chest, squeeze those shoulder blades together. That chest is open. You'll probably feel a little stretch across the front here before we even do anything. I want you to hold this position as you lift the hips. Squeeze the bum at the top. You're going to think about driving the knees over the toes. And then you bring it back down. When you bring it back down, you should come back to that position. Back straight, shoulders together. Try 10 of those. If you need to adjust your hands, do so at any time. You can hold it for a beat at the top if you want. Good. All right. After 10 of those, let's come on to our hands and knees again. So we're going to do some scapular push-ups. So I'll just demonstrate from here. So this is my floor. My arms are going to stay straight, and I'm going to squeeze my shoulder blades together and then push them away as far as I can at the top. So it's a small little move. I don't want anything below my shoulders to move, so pay attention to what's happening through your core. So we're staying on the knees. So set yourself up in that tabletop position. Keep your neck nice and straight. Squeeze and push away for 10. Remember, your neck is an extension of your spine, so it should stay straight. Don't tuck the chin. Watch those elbows. The temptation to bend them will be there. All right, after 10, Come to your feet. So this is our squat to flexion drill. We've got some deadlifts coming up, so we're gonna just get into that hinge position. We're gonna start just with a regular squat. The hands will then come to the floor. From here, you can straighten your legs as much as you can. They may bend, that's fine. But then I want you to find your hinge position. So the back is straight. You should feel that tension through the back of the legs. And then you stand up from the hinge position. So again, you squat, hands to the floor, straighten the legs, hinge, stand up. Good. Let's try 3 more. You can keep the arms overhead when you squat or not. It's harder to squat with the arms overhead if you don't have the mobility. Good. All right. So let's do that again. So let's do glute lifts, scapular push-ups, and the squat to flexion. So setting it up, squeeze those shoulders together, lifting the glutes for 10. Keep squeezing those shoulders. Driving the knees over the toes at the top. Good. Scapular push-ups when you're ready. Set it up. Arms straight. Moving just at the shoulders. Trying not to let the ribs or the pelvis move. Big push at the top. One more. Cool. All right, so for this round, we're not going to do the squat portion, we're just going to do the hinge portion. You can keep your hands by your side, or you can keep them overhead if you want. But we're just going to set up as if we were going to deadlift. So the feet are about hip distance apart. The back is going to stay nice and straight. You're going to pull those shoulders down away from the ears to make sure that those lats come on. We want those lats to stay on throughout the entire thing. So we keep pulling down. From here, we hinge the hips back, keeping the back nice and straight, and then stand up. So we're going to do 10 like that. Again, bringing your intention and your awareness to the back of the legs. The glutes, that's what's doing the work here. All the main movers, anyway. Yes, nice, nice, nice. Oh, that all looks really good, guys. Cool. All right, any questions so far? We're going to talk about deadlifts. All right, so single leg deadlifts. If you are working on pistol squats, I'm going to give you a version that's going to, more than anything, this is going to, I hope, build your strength through your ankles, which is really, I mean, you wouldn't think how important ankles are in these pistol squats and the single leg strength, but it really is. So I'm going to give you different options for these deadlifts tonight. So level 1, if this is new, we're going to do just a kickstand deadlift, which means the foot comes, one foot comes just behind the other. So I'm not way back here. I'm looking for the heel, and I'm going to line the toe up with that front heel. This leg that's in front is the working leg. So this is the one that you have to make that mind muscle connection with. We're moving only body weight tonight. So the only way to make this really hard is to really think about it. So We're going to do the same hinge movement that we did in the warm-up. Hinging back and standing up. But this front leg again is doing all the work. This one is just here to help with balance, because eventually that guy comes off the floor. So your level 1 is just doing it like this. Level 2, you take the foot off the floor and stand up. Level 3, you keep the foot off the floor for the entire rep. If you have to reset between reps, you can, but I will challenge you to not. So that is another way to make it harder. So you stay on one side without rebalancing. So if you're working on your pistol squats, that's something you keep in mind. The only other, so the next level after that, you can deadlift and bring the leg through. So I mean, level 1, you can keep the knee bent. But if you can, you do it with the legs straight. So this is called a lever. You can play with that. So there's lots of levels here. We're going to do 5 rounds. You can play with these different variations. You know, I would encourage you maybe like for the first round, you start slow and build your way up. We're going to do right side, left side each for 30 seconds. Then we're going to come to the floor. And we're going to hold reverse plank, so, or reverse tabletop. So level 1 will be reverse tabletop, where we just hold this position, okay? You're going to really think about squeezing those shoulders together, squeezing the bum at the top. If that feels okay, we do it with the legs straight. All right, and that will be a 30-second hold. We're doing it 5 times. Ça va pas être plaisant. It's not going to be nice. All right, any questions? No? Questions? Yeah?
I have a question.
Go.
When you're doing the what you just did with your legs straight, are your toes touching the floor?
Mine are, but I have the mobility through my feet to do that. If your toes don't get to the floor, that's okay. But maybe if your toes aren't getting to the floor, think about pushing up, 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 up. Push up as much as you can. If you think you're pushing up, push up even more. You might surprise yourself. You'll see. We'll see where you get by the end of round 5. See if they're any closer to the floor. Cool. All right. We're going to start in 15 seconds. We're going to do 30 seconds on one side, 15 seconds rest, 30 seconds other side, 15 seconds rest. You know the drill. 5 times. All right, setting it up. So the only other thing I will mention when you're doing this, if you're doing it with your foot off the floor, try to keep everything in nice and close. Just like we talk about with the pistol squat, if your leg is all the way out here, it'll be harder to balance. I mean, you'll have to make some adjustments for balance, but keeping everything close will allow you to control it a little more. All right, rest. And you don't want to be rounding the back. So again, keep those shoulders pulled down away from the ears. That should help prevent any excessive rounding. We're almost there. All right, let's bring it to the floor. Round 1, okay. Not so bad. So with these as well, play with that position of your hands. Find a spot that's comfortable on your shoulders. If your shoulders are screaming at you in this position, don't do it. You can do high plank, just regular front plank. But make sure those shoulders are strong. Squeeze those shoulder blades together. Bring the shoulders down away from the ears. Keep the chin tucked, so don't look back. Good, all right. Back to those single leg deadlifts. So shoulders are down away from the ears. We're hinging the hips back, keeping everything in nice and close. Trying to balance. If you want, the lever is like this. Remember, we also want those hip bones to be square. So if you imagined your hip bones were headlights, they want to be pointing forward and then straight down as you hinge. They shouldn't be tilting out towards the side. So much to think about. Even if just for one round you think about one thing, and then on the next round think about another thing. And eventually it all comes together. Good. All right, reverse plank. It's all about that back body tonight. Setting it up. So you should feel these in your back of your legs and your glutes as well. So if that's happening, that's good. That back body that's keeping us up. Push, push, push. Squeeze the glutes at the top. See if we can get the hips any higher. If you can't make the 30 seconds, then you come down. That's okay. All right, let's do it again. So when we're working with just our body weight, it can be challenging to find ways to make things hard or heavier. If that's the case with these single leg deadlifts, something you can always do is slow it way, way down or speed it way, way up. Those options are available to you. I mean, just balancing on one foot for 30 seconds is challenging enough in my opinion. All right, shake it out, other side. There we go. Hopefully you're counting your reps, seeing if you can be consistent from round to round, honest with yourself. All right, plank. Okay, we can start spicing this one up. If you're in tabletop, or if you were doing it for reverse, the full reverse plank, let's bring it to tabletop. We're gonna hold it, but we're gonna see if we can tap the hips. So we're gonna see if we can take one hand off the floor. So what you're gonna do, before you lift the hand off the floor, I want you to just shift your weight to one side. So bring the weight into one arm and then slowly take the other hand off. But keep pushing those hips up. Don't let the hips drop. And rest. Okay, so we're going to try that one again on the next round. Again, if it's screaming at your shoulder, if your shoulder is screaming at you, please don't do that. All right, here we go. So this is round 4. You should be at, I would like to see 2 rounds at your hardest level. So you should be at your hardest level by now. And we'll do that again for the last one. Rest. Good. All right, setting it up on the other side. Choosing your level. If you're doing the scale where you bring the foot out in front, I want you to notice how much you have to press into that supporting leg. So you really have to press into the floor, squeeze the leg. There's a lot going on. All right, to the floor. So again, you're taking one hand off the floor. Maybe if you're not quite there and you're just shifting your weight from side to side, you can start there. If the reverse tabletop with that hip tap felt okay, you can bring it into the reverse plank and you can try the same thing. So where you would slowly shift the weight over, tap, other side. Watch those shoulders. You want them to stay strong. Squeeze those shoulder blades together. Trisha, you asked me about my foot. I'm getting a cramp in it now with my toes on the floor. Okay, last round. Here we go. Make it a strong and intentional round. Keep pulling those shoulders down away from the ears. Good. Other side. Set it up. Last time. You can also pay attention to how different it feels from side to side. I noticed that my left side is a lot harder on this side tonight for some reason. Okay, and a last time with these planks. So choose your level. Hardest level if you can, whatever that means for you. Here we go. You can always come back to that starting position and just hold it. Or reset when you need to. Good. All right, grab a drink. Whew, not so bad. We're getting warm. Oh, I don't know. I just need to get my water. 1 second. Okay. So let's talk about what we have coming up. First, exercise is, we're going to stick with the single leg squatting theme. We're going to do a lateral squat though. So we're going to do Cossack squats or lateral squats, whatever level you're at. We're going to stay on one side for 30 seconds and then go to the other side for 30 seconds. So we're not going back and forth for this one. So feet are nice and wide. The feet will always stay connected to the floor, so the heels shouldn't be coming off the floor at any time. Like every squat, like everything we do, shoulders down away from the ears. We hinge those hips back just a little bit, and we squat over to the side. So you might feel a nice stretch through the side of your foot. That's great. So we're just coming down and back up. If you have the mobility and you're able, you can bring this into a Cossack squat, where once I get as low as I can, I turn my toes up towards the ceiling and I get deeper. So you can choose your level. Play with the position of your feet. So find a distance that works for you. Ideally, you're keeping this leg straight. So 30 seconds on one side, 30 seconds on the other side. Then we're going to come to the floor. If you have socks or something that glides, that would be ideal. Where are my socks? I'm just going to grab one here. We're going back to glute lifts. We're going to be on our back though. I'm just putting one sock on to demonstrate for now. So, a good old-fashioned glute lift. We know them, we love them. Knees bent, lifting the hips, squeezing at the top, dragging the knees over the toes. Level one, you're going to hold this at the top and you're going to march. So you're just going to extend one leg at a time. Keep squeezing, keep pushing those hips up. If that feels okay for you and you want a bit of a challenge, you're going to slide one leg out at a time. Keep pushing those hips up. Okay? So you can choose your level. That makes sense? Do you want to try that? So your back is on the floor, Thomas, so you're not on your hands for this one. Yeah. Yeah. So Thomas, you can slide that foot, buddy. That's too easy. Yeah, there you go. Both feet at the same time, even harder. That's it. That's your move. Aren't you glad I checked? Okay, so we got Cossack squats. We got these glute lift extensions. I don't know what to call them. We are then going to hop. So if you have knee issues, if hopping and jumping is not your thing, you can do squats, something to keep your heart rate up. But if you're okay with the jumping, you're just going to jump side to side. If you had a stick or if you had some sort of target and you want to work a little bit of agility, you could hop just over the stick. Maybe it's a shoelace, maybe it's a something. Okay? We all got maybe a little tool for that. And then we're going to come to the floor for the last exercise, which will be a high plank to low plank. So we're going to come into high plank, down to low plank, back up to high plank. Nothing fancy. I'm just going to let you guys do that one however you like. If moving up and down isn't for you, you can choose to hold either high plank or low plank. We're good? We got it? Okay, timer right here. Okay guys, we're gonna start in 15. Lateral squats or Cossack squats. Let's start on our weak side. Whatever side is your weak side, start with that one. Or whatever side you maybe think is your weak side. So the first few reps might be some adjusting reps where you find your footing. You determine how much of the hips you have to push back, where you have to shift your weight. So take the time. get acquainted with the move. We're going to be doing this 4 times, so buckle up, buckle in. Okay, rest. Shoulders down away from the ears. Let's see if we can get at least 10. Might be a few, maybe a few, slightly fewer than 10 on the first round, but round 2 for sure. So you're trying to keep that back as straight as you can. So it might mean you don't get quite so deep in your squat, but that's okay. Okay, we're going to slide the feet. Oh, I wonder if I can do it without. All right, lift the hips, keep squeezing at the top. You're alternating which foot you slide out, except Thomas, he's doing both feet at the same time. If you want to do both feet at the same time, you can. It's hard though. Keep lifting those hips. The temptation will be to drop them. All right, we're standing back up. Find your target. We're hopping. So this will keep us honest in our jumps. Keep it up. Almost there. Woo! Good. Squats. Weak side. For 10. Good. Almost there. Nice. Other side. Whew. Those jumps. Cardio. Most cardio I do. Here we go. Good. Back straight, shoulders down away from the ears. Notice if you're getting a little bit deeper. All right, let's do those glute lifts, extensions, slides. Own that top position. Keep squeezing those glutes. Straightening that leg as much as you can. You're sliding it. Getting as much range of motion as you can. Okay. Back up. We're down and up tonight. I don't normally do that. Okay. Here we go. We're jumping. Oh, you know what? We forgot. High plank. We have to come back to that. Sorry, guys. Keep going. All right, high plank to low plank. Own that high plank position first. And when you're ready, move. Keep going. Rest. We're gonna have to make up for that one later. Right. Squats, round 3. Here we go. Good. Couple more. One more. All right, I'm only getting 9. That's okay. Other side. I could throw a 10th one in there. Back straight, shoulders down. Good. Nice. All right. On our back. Hips up. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. Check how high your hips are. Are you still squeezing or did you let them fall? All right, the top. Here we go. Keep going. Halfway, baby. There's a danger component if you use this stick, because if you hit it and you roll, that might be messy. Plank. That's how I live dangerously. Life is wild. Here we go. Keep it up. Strong shoulders. Strong abs. Okay. Whew. Round 4. last time for these. So notice if you're now getting any deeper than you were on your first round. Good. Sweet. So after this set of lateral squats, we're going to do our extra plank that I forget. Well, it's not the extra plank, it's the plank I forgot. So we're going to do that before we go into glute lifts. I'm throwing that in now. Well, after these. Almost there. Good. Okay. Plank, and then we hop. Oh no, sorry. Plank, and then we glute lift. Here we go. See if you can alternate which arm you go down and up with, which arm leads. All right, glute lifts. We're almost there. Let's slow burn. Hips up. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. Last time for these. Whew. All right, let's jump. Here we go. Almost there, keep it up. Good. All right, last set of plank. Last 30 seconds. Here we go. Keep it tight. Reset if you need to. Watch the shoulders. Squeeze the legs. All right. Excellent. Grab a little drink. We'll stretch. Okay, so we're going to be half kneeling. So if you need something for your knee, you can grab that. Back toes are tucked. And we're just going to squeeze the glute, stretch the front of the leg. And then you'll just lean forward, So this is just a passive stretch tonight, or right now. So no need to really squeeze too hard. You can relax into the stretch a little bit. Keep your back straight. You can even play with that front leg. See if wiggling around affects your stretch at all. All right. Staying in this position, we're just going to shift those hips back, straighten that front leg. Back is nice and straight. Push the hips back to stretch the back of this front leg. Good. All right, we're going to bring the hands to the floor. We're going to move into pigeon. So just adjust yourself however you need to get into this pigeon position. The hands are, or sorry, the knee is between the hands. And again, take your time. Do make whatever adjustments or wiggles you need to make. Again, see if you can get that back nice and straight. And again, we're just relaxing into the stretch here, so as much as you can, relax into this stretch. All right, let's come out of that. So if you can, push off of your hands into downward dog. And let's bring that other foot forward and just come into that half kneeling stretch on the other side. So squeezing the bum to get that stretch through the front of that leg. And coming down wherever that stretch feels good for you. So the back toes can be tucked here, or you can relax them. All right, straighten that front leg, push the hips back. It's okay to rest your hand on this leg, just maybe either above the knee or below the knee, just maybe not right on the knee. Toes are pointing up towards the ceiling. Again, back is nice and straight. And then from here, coming into pigeon. It won't be a graceful transition. Good, and relaxing into this stretch as well. Good, all right. So cross-legged position of your choice. Or I guess whatever's comfortable, whatever seated position is comfortable for you. Let's just cross the arm in front, stretch out that shoulder, shoulders down away from the ears. Other side. Good. All right, let's just bring the arms up, grab the elbow, so we're stretching the tricep, reaching that hand down your back, trying to keep that arm in as close as you can to your ear. Other side. All right, and that, my friends, is it. Thank you, as always.